this. So, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about being aware, being conscious, being present, and what happens when we're not. So if I can just share with you that what tends to happen when we aren't in the zone is we'll start to feel bad. So you really have to know that you feel bad, and the feeling bad is the thing that's meant to say to you to wake up, you're thinking too much. Now, the thing is that all we have ever done is think. We're taught to think. We don't know anything else other than to try and think, especially if we're in a situation where we need to try and think our way out of it, or to try and even think about what we're going to do next or anything like that. We do have other options to thinking. We can actually receive information, and the way that we receive information is by not thinking. And we do get access to what I would call universal knowledge, universal mind, and infinite knowledge. So you kind of wonder why we were ever taught to think in the first place. Well, it's just really, at the end of the day, just part of our experiences to have the experience of thinking. Now, you'll find if you're thinking these days that you will start to feel bad. And so the feeling bad is to tell you that you are just thinking. So if you're in any of my groups, or you are part of any of my sessions or anything like that, you'll just recognize that that's all I teach pretty much, mainly, is how to deal with thinking and then how to receive information. But this is just jumping in just to remind everyone that if you are feeling bad, it just means that you are in thinking, and that's okay. Like, you just have to recognize that you're thinking, and then you can just stop thinking. Now, how do you stop thinking? You just have to be in the current moment and just go, okay, so what's happening right now? What am I doing right now? Usually thinking is involved in the past or the future, which we have no control over. Again, the thinking will start to spiral us into overthinking because we actually can't control the past or the future. But the only thing we can control is right now. So again, the first step really is to come into the current moment. I call it the reset. You can actually reset anything, any thoughts, any experiences, anything, your whole life you can reset in every moment simply by being in the current moment. So what does being in the current moment even mean? Literally, I mean, if you're looking at me and I'm looking at you, then we're in the current moment. With no thoughts, you don't need to think anything. You can actually be super present with the person that you're with. You can be super present with what you're doing. That's being in the moment. And when you're doing that, there isn't actually any thinking required. You can just be with the people that you're with, or you can then just do what you're doing. Pretty much that's what life really should be all about. So if we can just practice that, be with the people that you need to be with and we want to be with, doing what you want to be doing, then thinking doesn't really need to be happening. If you are thinking, you'll start to notice that you're feeling bad, and then that's the sign to say that you are thinking, and it's to come back into the current moment and be with the people that you want to be with and to do what you want to be doing right now. They're very basic concepts. And if you can practice that, then you will be okay short term to be able to deal with whatever comes up, because as long as you keep remembering that you can just reset anything right now, you can reset everything. This current moment is the only moment that's actually really existing. It's just right now. So you can do something right now. Anytime that you think about past or future, your brain knows that it can't do anything about that. So then it goes into a bit of a spiral. So just be with the people that you love, be with the people that you're with, and be present with what you're doing. And you'll find that thinking won't be as strong. And of course, you then won't be feeling bad because there's no thinking. So practice that. It's just a little kind of reminder that, even what the current moment looks like, and also what happens when you're thinking. Now, what do we do if we're not thinking? Well, we can literally just be observing what's happening right now, or doing what's happening right now, or being with the people that's happening right now. And you can actually receive information while you are being present in those activities and with those people. And the receiving is just the ideas that pop into your head, the thoughts, that random thoughts. They're not actually thoughts because you're not thinking about them. They're just things that pop in. They're usually just the things that pop in, which is the receiving of information rather than the thinking of information. The thinking of information is when you go, let me try and work that out. That's when you're thinking. But when you're just going, I have no idea, and let me just look at it with no idea, that's when you will receive some information as to what you can do about it. That is literally what we're moving more into. So the reason why we are having a lot of issues with overthinking, too much thinking, anxieties and all that sort of thing is just because evolutionary, we're not meant to be doing as much thinking anymore. We don't need to. We've got access to other ways of getting information. So they're just signs, they're just messages and signs to say, hey, you're just going back into the old way. Hey, we're ready for this new way of living, which is the receiving rather than the thinking. It's so much better, so much more fun, but we find, especially around life and creating the life that we want to have and going along on our pathway, that we're then guided and we're given more information through the thoughts that just pop up, not the thinking, but the thoughts that pop up. We're given all the information we need to be able to move forward. And that is literally our next evolutionary step from using our minds, is we get access to more within our minds rather than the limited thinking capacity that we have been using. Again, if you're using the limited system that we have always used, you will feel bad and you will start to feel anxious. When you're actually going more into the universal mind, the external thinking, the expanded thinking, you will only be super aware of all your options. You'll be awake, feeling really alert. You'll be full of opportunities, feeling feeling optimistic, interested, even curious. And that's what we can carry on throughout our whole life when we move more into the receiving of information rather than the thinking of information. So it's just a little pop in to say, hey, you've got another way to do things. And those who do this work with me, hey, remember you can do this. And I'm going to be popping in daily, or whenever I pop in, just to remind you all that we are evolving and we are changing into new ways of doing things. And when we're doing things the old way, we are going to struggle and it is going to be hard. There's a lot of people going through some hard times at the moment. And I did actually get asked a question, how do you get through hard times? And it's like, you need to use them. We need to use the hard times to help us to learn and to grow and to move into what we can do rather than what we can't do. And again, I make the joke around the yellow car. When you say you want to see a yellow car, then of course within the next 5 minutes you'll actually end up seeing a yellow car. We made a joke in our group this morning. The beautiful Peggy called it the Google brain, or the brain is like Google. I'll call it the Google brain. So it's like whatever is in the brain, it's going to be like Google and it's going to seek it out for you. So if you can kind of, when you're going through a hard time, just keep your awareness open into, okay, is there something I can get from this? And again, because your Google brain is alert to seeing what you can get from it, you will be helped in some way through that situation. You don't really need to be stuck anymore, but I want you, whatever hardship or pain or hard times you're going through, maybe start to be open to maybe seeing if there's an opportunity from this situation. Is there something that you can learn from it, that can help you? And usually when you're in it, it doesn't feel like that. But if you can have something within your knowing that there is something, you will be able to, down the track, look back and say, okay, oh, I understand now of what I was meant to get from that. If you can just try and bring a little bit of that awareness and knowing into right now, it'll really help you through that situation and help you to get a bit of a open perspective to then again with your Google brain be able to then bring some of the answers and learnings and awarenesses through what you can do, and give you just a little bit of space to be able to receive, again, through the receiving of information rather than thinking of information, using your Google brain. Use your Google brain to just open it up, allow it to receive the information that's going to help you through the situation. Even if it's feeling really hard right now, the Google brain's definitely going to help you. So I'll keep popping in and keep reminding everyone, especially for the current clients who, we all forget this stuff very easily. I'm just going to keep reminding you guys, but also reminding myself, that we know what to do. We know how to get through things. We know how to have awareness. We know how to be in the current moment. We know how to deal with thinking. We know how to get the answers. We know how to do all this, and you do know. So I'm going to jump in, and hopefully we won't forget this. Okay, have an awesome day. And the other thing I need to share with you is that whatever is happening and whatever you're going through, you are doing the best that you can do. That's all you need to know. And I want you to say that to yourself. I'm doing the best that I can do right now. That's all I want you to say. Nothing else needs to exist. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.